Hello everyone, it's Shane Kanto, your Wasteland reviewer, and I'm here to review Polka King. And this film was released on Netflix and it's starring Jack Black as the Pennsylvania Polka King. This is based off of a true story, and this is a biography, and it's filmed in a couple of different kinds of ways. It incorporates some grainy, older video that looks like it's from the time period that this takes place in, along with regular camera shots. And overall, this is a fine film. I don't feel like it was a waste of my time. And going into this, I'm like, I like Jack Black, and I'm always usually willing to give him a chance based off of what he's been doing, especially lately, because Jumanji, he was hilarious. Goosebumps, he was surprisingly good in. Bernie was an interesting choice for him, and I felt like I want to give this film a chance and see what it's like. And based off of a very game cast, it's a very interesting film. And this is directed and written by Maya Forbes and Wallace Wolodorsky, and the two of them together put together a fine film. The storytelling, how this is brought about, mixing up between different kinds of like videos and him recreating actual performances and stuff like that. I thought that was a nice way of changing things up, because overall a lot of it's just storytelling. Here it is. And one of the most engaging things about this, though, is that you don't know 100% if he is full of it or not, and trying to figure out if this guy is really a bad person or not. And that's the most interesting part, is that there's some gray area, just like my suit, and trying to figure out if this guy is like Hans, or it's like however you want it to be, and him telling it. And that's the thing, he's so willing to like pull anything over anybody. It's just like, you can say my name however you want, and that's what really works in this film. The pacing, I didn't feel bored at all. It's a pretty quickly paced, like hour 35, I believe it is. So it's a quick little jaunt of a film, and there's some moments of actual emotion, but for the most part, tonally, it's kind of a silly just look at a biography. It's a pretty straightforward film. There isn't really anything super special about it. Cinematographer Andre Bowden Schwartz does a nice job with the scenes where we're dealing with the older, grainier video. I thought that was a really good choice to shake this film up, because I think that's one of the things that this film has going against it, is it's stale. It's very point and shoot cinematography. There's nothing really special about the camera work, and it looks like a Netflix movie. And that's the thing, this doesn't look like a super really made for theatrical release. It looks like made for Netflix. This isn't Beast of No Nation, this isn't Bright, and I think, and not Meyerowitz stories. This is kind of like, this looks like a Netflix movie. Now, as I mentioned before, Forbes and Wolodorsky also wrote this film, and this film really hinges on this weird capery kind of like, are you gonna catch him kind of thing, and all these goofy antics of this character. And the story kind of gets like vignette-y, where it's just kind of like, here's a little con, here's another little con, and they keep building up to a point where it's like, this is finally going to have to pay off eventually. And I feel like it's an overall interesting story. It's not like mind-blowingly like deep and really engaging. It's like, it's a fun, interesting story, and our Polka King is by far the most interesting character, and a lot of this winds up on the shoulders of the actors. Jenny Slate plays his wife, who is pretty interesting. Jason Schwartzman's character, who's like his right-hand man, is slimy. It's Jason Schwartzman. And Jackie Weaver plays his mother-in-law, and she's crazy, and she's one of the best parts of the film. Now, composer Theodore Shapiro brings the music to this film, and I think it's really, I enjoyed the music from this, and obviously they're incorporating his actual music, and I'm like, I'm not a polka person, but I thought those scenes had a lot of energy, and I think they were some of the best scenes in the film. is incorporating that music and really bringing that aspect of this man's life into it. And like, this film has an interesting message of trying to look at redemption and stuff like that, and what really makes a bad person a bad person. Can you be completely oblivious to you being a bad person and think that you're doing good? Or, and that's the thing, there's that gray area. It's like, is he really that oblivious, or is he really a scumbag? And I think that's one of the things that is the most engaging part of this film. But from the casting perspective, Jack Black really brought his A game with this, which he has been for a while now in a lot of his roles, and I really, really enjoyed him in this. Jenny Slate was fun, Jason Schwartzman was fun, Jackie Weaver was a big standout from the supporting cast. She had some crazy moments and a lot of energy and crazy antics, and I thought that really worked. Their son, I thought was like a blank slate piece of meat, just like, there's a human being there, and wasn't really interesting, and he pops up a decent bit towards the third act of this film. And overall, it's a goofy and zany Jack Black who really elevates a very straightforward, pretty generic kind of biopic that could be completely forgettable. But I'm going to give the Polka King a C.